Virginia Tech, one of the smallest in the country. You got to compete on the backboard. You better ready to play out of the gates on the road. And this is a great environment.
Oh, it sure is. You saw Mike Young, the head coach for Virginia Tech, kind of gazing up into the crowd. Man, can it get loud here. And it's always a lot of fun. Louisville against Virginia Tech. We are underway on the tip, and it'll go the other way. 2 seconds in. The Louisville Cardinals coming out at 23-6, 14-4 in the ACC. Virginia Tech at 15-13, 6-11 in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and they have dropped 8 of their last 9 games. So they are looking for a huge upset tonight. Up top for Wara, comes in averaging 18 points a game. McMahon, one of the seniors, flips it up there, and the tip ball roll. Sutton went for it and batted away by the Hokies, who love to shoot that 3-point shot. Obisabedi, their sure-handed point guard, gives off for Radford, one of the most exciting young players in the conference.
Not a great 3-point shooter, but plays downhill. They play off him, and yet he still gets to his spots inside that paint.
Shot clock immediately a factor here, down to 7. Beatty trying to penetrate, slams on the brakes. He kept that foot down. Here's Radford, and short with a 3-pointer.
That's a beautiful defensive effort out of the gates for the Cards. Taking away any driving lanes, forcing Radford, not a comfortable shooter, to take one as a buzzer sounds.
Wara jumping in the lane, the one-hander off the iron. Tantalizing up there. Louisville tied with FSU for the conference lead after the Seminoles were upset by Clemson on Saturday, 70-69. The Tigers did it again, Jordan.
How about that Tigers team? That is probably one of the weirdest resumes you'll see come this time of the season.
Entry pass and a collision on the play. Luciaco went down. Here's Wara from 3, but no. The Tigers are 15-13, but they keep picking off top 15 teams at home.
You do not want to play Clemson there on their home floor.
Offensive foul. Personal there on Ojiako. That'll be number 1. So you look at Mike Young, first year's head coach of the Hokies. This is his first time facing Chris Mack at Louisville, but they met twice when he was in Wofford, and Mack coach Xavier. They were 2 terrific games. They split those games. Chris Mack won the first in triple overtime. Young the next one by 1 point.
Great respect amongst 2 of the best coaches in the country.
Fresh Kimball gives it up for Wara. Looking more assertive, and that one's going to rattle in for 2.
Assertive is the key word. He's had a couple good looks, haven't fallen right there. A rhythm bounce, gets inside the arc to get an easy one, then start to work his way out. But I'd like, as do I'm sure Cards fans, that he's hunting his shot out of the gates.
When he does that, he can be really, really fun to watch at 37 against Boston College, 32 against a very good FSU team. Up top for Radford. Wilkins with a shot clock to 7. Aline gives it up. Wilkins will fire. Got a really good look, but it won't drop for him.
Very disciplined defense from Louisville here. Committed to guarding through the clock and making the Hokies take toughness.
Tripled up is Enoch, and that forces the theft. Loose ball scooped up by the Hokies. Horn lost the handle on it. Had an opportunity right there at the rim, but he mishandled it.
Got to maximize those. They generate the turnover, which I said was a key. You got to make them pay on the other end.
McMahon way downtown, certainly not out of his range. He got a great hand when he was introduced here on Senior Night. Fans love him here. And one of the premier 3-point men in the ACC.
An absolute dart thrower.
And off for Aline. Spin, man stuck with him. Here's Radford. And making sure he doesn't get inside that paint. Aline lets fly. No. And there is a lid on that basket for the Hokies early on.
Both teams getting decent looks from the perimeter. No punctuation here to start.
Kimball. No. Rebound tipped away. Virginia Tech has it. Remember, they scored only 11 in the first half against Virginia the other day. They rallied. Beatty. That's in and out. No, the fans, and always a great crowd here, urging Louisville to make some shots.
Got to drive it. It's a small front line for Virginia Tech. Got to challenge. Settle it.
Louisville now 1 for 8. The Hokies are 0 for 4.
Play through Enoch. Good things happen. Haven't really established a big fella on the inside.
Horn. That's in and out. Guy who will shoot the three. But just about everybody will for the Hokies.
OB, I'm having a flashback of my career. Just a lot of three-point shots, misses, crowd not getting into it. You know, it's eerily reminiscent of 01 to 05 in South Bend.
Man. Sutton gives it up going to the seat of his pants. Here's Radford. Won't shoot the short one. That jump shot, that won't drop. Off target by Horn. Absolutely nothing falling. Here's McMahon again. Entry pass, batted away. It's been sloppy too.
Now you got a little bit of fatigue. You're usually playing 4-minute segments. You're bleeding into almost 6 minutes of going here.
And finally, Tyrese Radford. You're talking about over 5 minutes of basketball before Virginia Tech is finally on the scoreboard.
Wow. Some nerves. Senior night. Last time some of these guys will play on this floor. You want to change the world with every play. Simplify it. Play within yourself.
Sutton, yes, a three-pointer. Dwayne Sutton, whose scoring is really up over the last 4 or 5 games, knocks that one in.
Dwayne Sutton, typical. His last 5 games, nearly 12 points, 8 rebounds, massively productive. Going off what you're saying there, OB, the heart and soul of the team.
That's exactly what Chris Mack said about him. Blocked out of the sky by Sutton, but a foul before that. With 14:02 to go. Chris Mack talking about Sutton in those terms in the senior night proceedings. ACC Network Basketball being perhaps for Louisville, and they have to win out in order to make sure that happens. You know, maybe share that title with FSU. We'll see how things play out for the Seminoles as well. But they were talking about it at the beginning of their practice today when Chris Mack got them together.
Yeah, very spirited shoot around too. A lot of communication, guys dialed in. That's what comes with March. But going back to Malik Williams, I don't think enough was made. Look, that game got very lopsided very quickly in the second half. Louisville at Florida State. They were surely missing the defense, the glue, and the vocal leadership of Malik Williams when he went down in that first half.
Well, we'll see as some shots begin to fall here after Sutton's triple a moment ago. McMahon to the baseline, draws the double. Shot clock to 5. Here's David Johnson giving it up for Worrell with a fall away. And Couture with the rebound for the Hokies.
Nolly defensively dodges a bullet, goes to help on the drive, and abandons Worrell, who has his feet set to deliver that one. Can't give him looks like that.
Cone swishes that one in, and just about automatic. You talk about great three-point shooters. Maybe he doesn't shoot enough of them. He's 51%.
Let me tell you another guy, you cannot leave at any point. You must hug and have an awareness at all times. It's Jalen Cone, who shoots 51% from beyond the arc.
War really hunting that shot, and he drops that one in. That's tough to stop when he wants it.
He is playing elite basketball when he's taking shots like that. You want to take away the three-point line? I'll get gritty, rugged, do it off the bounce. Those are the kind of plays when he's making those, he's incredibly tough to guard.
FSU held him down. He scored just 11 in that loss. He was 4 for 14. Leonard Hamilton's team does that to a lot of people. Here's Horn to launch. Got that. And if they get that rolling, look out.
Again, that's Cone. The respect of his stroke. He gets that thing on the bounce twice. The defense converges. That leaves Wilkins wide open for the kickback.
Williamson into the paint. Swung back up top for Warren. And that's going to catch the rim but drop away. Beatty pushing the tempo. Nolly's been quiet so far. And tapped out of play with 11:57 to go here in the first half. Play starting to heat up finally.
Yeah, big time play here. PJ Horn dials it.
Good golly, Miss Molly is right. Champ Week starting March 7 on ESPN. And tonight here on the ACC Network, nice of you to join us. Virginia Tech with a 10-7 lead on Louisville, the number 11 team in the country. Johnson, who's playing very, very well. Williamson with a pull-up pot. Nicely done.
Attacking closeouts. Because it's such a small Hokies team, they can stay in front of your perimeter guys, but when you get them shifty, head fake, get them up in the air on that closeout and attack with the dribble. Williamson, composed, is able to get one.
Sabidi directing traffic to Junior on the north end over Massachusetts. Very rarely turns it over. Virginia Tech hardly ever fouls, too. As you pointed out, they never turn it over. Shot clock down to 1. And a three-pointer by Horn won't drop.
Horn's going to get a lot of looks there as Enoch not too comfortable at 6'10", defending out there. This is where he's got to be most comfortable.
Short with that, the senior from Norwalk, Connecticut. He's been playing through a sprained right ankle that he suffered on February 22nd.
And OB, that's okay. You buried him, got some good real estate there on the low block, just couldn't punctuate it. Keep feeding the big fella down low. With his size at 6'10", the Hokies have no antidote.
He did a kick out, but he's on the line, and he turns it over. So, if the season ended today, here's your bracket for the upcoming ACC tournament. And that includes North Carolina as a 15 seed. Do you think they're really dangerous?
OB, you ain't used to seeing them there. Of course they are at 15. With the talent that's there, they're finally healthy. Am I picking them to win it? No. But do you want to see them if you're Syracuse in the 7th seed? That's not a 17-15 game we're used to seeing. When you look at the 6 and 7 seeds in Syracuse and Notre Dame, they've got to win this thing to get a berth, most likely. NC State gets one win, then they face Virginia. That's a huge win and maybe gets them back into this. A lot of fascinating storylines in Greensboro.
And you saw there it was Louisville and FSU, even though they are identical in terms of loss records at this point. Louisville would be the number 2 seed, FSU the number 1 if they finish tied for first. FSU beating the Cardinals 2 times. So at that tiebreaker, that's how that goes. They would be co-champs. Nolly slamming on the brakes. Got it inside for 2. Ujiako with the basket. And the crowd once again exhorting the Cardinals who have fallen behind 12-9.
This is the knock I've had on this Louisville team. The shots aren't falling from distance. That one does from Wara. But if they're not consistently falling, how else are you going to get baskets? You've got a considerable size advantage. Bully ball needs to be the mentality.
It's been kind of a funky, unpredictable season for Louisville, hasn't it? They beat Michigan early when they were a top 10 team. They lost in overtime to Kentucky. They lost to FSU. Then they upset number 3 Duke at Cameron. They beat a good Virginia team. They've been kind of a difficult team to reach. Shot clock to 7. Couture into the paint will bank that in.
It's a big time move from Couture. One of the 6 freshmen that are heavy contributors for a Hokies program that is on the rise in the future, incredibly bright.
Whistle, a foul with 9:01 to go in the half. The Cardinals will go to the line. Ujiako with the personal number 2 for him.
That's what you got to do. Run these guys off the three-point line, make them drivers. Degree of difficulty on that one from Couture incredibly high. Percentages won't bear out in their favor if you continue to defend like that. So Louisville defensively, they've been okay there. It's on the offensive side, the shot selection, settling too much for threes. Stephen Enoch needs to be the guy who takes almost as many shots as Jordan Wara today.
Enoch, a grad student, has his communications degree from Louisville, but he started out playing at UConn for 2 years. He is a Connecticut native. And another one coming, good foul shooter, 75%. Louisville still has to play at Virginia next Saturday. Very tough task, even though they beat them in February 80-73. Cone. Tied at 14. Johnson, a talented freshman. Wara pounding the deck there. Boy, it's a pretty shot. Off balance, but he knocks it down.
An aggressive possession in the half court. David Johnson comes in, the mentality changes. Downhill attack. He has a couple probing dribbles in there, then hands off. Wara finishes the deal by driving it himself. Great possession for the Cardinals.
He's got 9 points. Aline, yes, that's a sweet shot from three-point land. Virginia Tech shoots a ton of those. They make 35%, and they hit about 10 a game. Wara again. Got a very nice look, and it was in and out. The swing up top for Horn. Here's Radford. Another one from long distance by a lead, and he'll bury the three.
It's wild. This is just another one of those freshmen, a confident shooter, because Coach Young gives them the perpetual green light. So these shooters have amnesia. Forget the last miss in full-on pursuit of the next make.
They had to forget the first 5 minutes of the game.
Heck, we wanted to forget the first 5 minutes of this game.
Erase that. Perry with a miss. On the attack, Wilkins. And an offensive foul. That's a charge. See if everybody is okay here. Virginia Tech starting to play very well. They will open up a 20-16 lead on the Cardinals.
Welcome to Packer and Durham. Les, what a great show we got.
Pack, what are all these fans?
Back in 2015, the Cards had 4 players graduate or leave for the NBA that year. Terry Rozier, Montrezl Harrell, Wayne Blackshear, and Chris Jones went to play overseas. All 4 were double-digit scorers for the Cards. They lost to Michigan State in the Elite 8 that season. So saying goodbye to so many current contributors could be a concern for Chris Mack, but he says he's confident in the program's future with guys like David Johnson, Malik Williams, and Darius Perry at the helm.
About the loyalty of this class of guys, too, you know. Guys like Ryan McMahon played for Coach Pitino, saw Coach Pitino leave with the issues that were widely covered. Then Coach Padgett comes in, now Coach Mack. These guys never wavered, stayed here because of belief in the program and wanting to put on this jersey. So the crowd showed up early to honor them, and you love that, me being a former student athlete, to see that connection player with community.
The crowd was great. I love coming into this building, and I know you do too. And all of us who cover college basketball, it's one of the great places in the sport. You're always going to get a great crowd. They are into it. They're incredibly supportive. It's as much fun as any place in America.
Smart, high IQ basketball fans. Some of the best fans, not just in this conference, in the country, Louisville Cardinal fans.
And today was, as a lead knocks that one down, today a doubleheader. Their number 5 women rolled over Virginia Tech. They've got a great program as well. They had about 10,000 in the building this afternoon for that game. That's travel. So the traveling violation gives it back to Virginia Tech. 23-18 Hokies.
Out of rhythm so far, this Louisville Cardinals offense. Jordan Wara has been every bit of the assertive guy that we asked for in a pregame. Virginia Tech, though, competing on the backboard, knocking down threes at a decent clip. And I'll tell you, when you hear from Coach Young at half with Katie George, I bet he mentions turnovers. A team that averages less than 10 per game, sitting at 5 turnovers right now, and that drives him bonkers.
Shot clock down to 7 again. Wilkins bumping with Wara, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Number 2 on him. Next Sunday, right here on the ACC Network and ESPN app, we have ACC Wrestling, the championship from the University of Pittsburgh's Peterson Event Center. Our coverage of the finals begins at 7 p.m. Eastern. NC State is the defending champion. They've won the ACC title 16 times. Wara a little bit gimpy after that play, maybe an ankle.
I wonder if it was the ankle as much as just the sheer force of Isaiah Wilkins at 6'4", 225.
Sure. McMahon sets the feet. Well, he can hit that all day. That's called a two-pointer.
You were late on a call there, OB. When he gets his feet set, you should have already called it good, because he's automatic in that scenario when the feet are set.
But a two-pointer, not a three.
So glad you waited.
Radford. Nolly, real quiet so far. That's a turnover on the baseline. He's averaging 17 again. Give you a look at Wara here on that collision.
So, yeah, he's sliding here. Oh, yeah, the ankle definitely got tied up there. I thought it was more the brute force into his chest.
Might have been that, too.
A little bit of both, but how about the effort from your star? That's making him meet at chest, earning the whistle. And then the next sequence down defensively, he slides his feet with Nolly to generate another turnover. So you're getting it on both ends of the floor from the oft-criticized, but should be celebrated more, Jordan Ward.
Kimball swings it here for Williamson. Flips it up, around and off. Rebound, a big fight for that. Jordan Ward comes away with that. Wara, the #2 scorer in the ACC, coming in at 18 a game. Williamson travels with it. Too quick a start, gives it back.
And Sutton with the very high IQ swing pass. Williamson got greedy. I love that you want to drive it, but with that one, catch and shoot. That's a high percentage opportunity.
I think Dwayne Sutton's a fascinating story. A senior, celebrated here on senior night. A local kid, went to high school at Manual High, which literally abuts the Louisville campus. He wanted desperately to play for Louisville out of high school. They didn't even look at him. They never recruited him. He went to UNC Asheville instead, transferred here as a walk-on. He wanted so badly to play for Louisville, and now he's one of their stars here in his final year. Finally, that dream came true. Couture drops that. Boy, that was in and then out of the cylinder. Dribble drive down the lane, and a committed play by Fresh Kimball. He was not to be denied, and a timeout. Louisville starting to surge, and they've cut it to 1. 23-22.
But they're sitting 13-5, 21-7.
Yep.
A lot of coaches in the country would love to have a down year like the reigning national champion Virginia Cavaliers have had. It's remarkable what Coach Tony Bennett has done this season.
Another tremendous job by Tony Bennett. Coach of the year in the ACC. Maybe it comes down to Tony and Leonard Hamilton at FSU. Well, inside the last 4 minutes of the half, and a pull-up pop from the baseline will not drop for Cone. Louisville still only shooting about 20%. That's actually an uptick from the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, Louisville defensively has done a very good job. They're just falling in love with that outside shot when they should be playing inside out and trying to aggressively drive that thing against the smallest front line, non-existent front line of the Hokies.
Williamson into the red. Lafalo. Could trigger a break here for Aline, who's really played well in the first half. Gives that one away, but he has 9 points. Wara over the top, slammed in by Samuel Williamson. And that lights up the crowd and puts the Ville in the lead. Aline tried the window, but no.
You're seeing youth come to the forefront for the Hokies. A team that plays 6 freshmen because they have to. A team in rebuild mode doesn't know how to weather the storm. Take something, meet it with resistance. They're being sped up right now, and it's hurting.
A shove from behind on Sutton.
Live ball turnovers like this you're not used to seeing with the Hokies. Average 10 turnovers per game. They're almost going to meet that in the first half. Jordan Wara with the astute pass to Williamson. Up, and away.
Williamson, Louisville's 28th McDonald's All-American. Freshman out of Rockwall, Texas. Cardinals by 1. Hokies were 13-5 on the morning of January 23rd. They had a win over Michigan State early in the year against the Spartans in Maui on their resume. Many were talking about this very young team as perhaps a tournament team. Since then, they have lost 8 out of 9 games, and that youth has really shown up, as you mentioned. Horn pressured, but knocked it down anyway.
Youth and a lack of size, and that's why the focus has had to be the three-point line. When they go cold, they're just overmatched naturally. And when you're that young, these older teams know ways to carve you up.
Wara fouled on the baseline by Couture. Well, it's nothing but net coming up next. Our weekly basketball studio show. We preview the week ahead and look back at the best games from last week. That's coming up tonight right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app.
They got a lot to choose from in terms of games this week, don't they, OB?
Oh, a ton.
What a week in the conference.
Just yesterday was one of the craziest days in the ACC. Virginia beating Duke by 2. Clemson upset FSU by 1. NC State got another big win. North Carolina walloped Syracuse in the Carrier Dome. There's some famous faces there. Some of the highlights in the ACC notebook. You mentioned North Carolina, though. They hit 11 out of 26 from 3 in that victory in the Carrier Dome in front of Tom Brady, Jimmy Fallon and company. And you know, one thing Jim Boeheim said afterwards was, watch out for North Carolina because everybody's healthy finally.
And that's a great point to be made. Look, it's North Carolina. You're not used to seeing them in the cellar, so they've been the butt of a lot of jokes. So when you hear that, I'm sure a lot of people roll their eyes. Well, let's not forget, when healthy, the pieces that are there, there's a couple pros on the roster and some darn good college players. If they put it together, when they're laser focused in March, who knows?
You're drilling those threes in the dome. Under 90 seconds before halftime here in Louisville. Leaner inside. That's a tough shot. Nolly got it to go, and he'll be at the line.
That's why he's such a dynamic matchup. At 6'7" right there, going against a defender in McMahon at 6 feet. You're giving up 7 inches here in isolation, too. Help side can't get there in time. No dig from Kimball allows him to draw the contact and earn a 3rd point here from the free throw line. That's good execution. And that's why Nolly's become one of the best scorers in this conference. Has gone cold, hit a little bit of a wall here. Get him in positions like that, he succeeds.
These were his first 2 points of the game. Came in averaging 17. Number 4 scorer in the ACC, so he's been really quiet. Virginia Tech by 2, but the Cardinals with the basketball with a minute to go in the first half. Here's Wara trying to use that body, and he used the iron with a nice touch.
I love how he's approaching this game offensively. He's done it from all 3 levels, but he's been steadfastly aggressive, and it's starting to key a little bit of emotion and energy from his teammates.
He has 11. We're tied at 27. Ten to shoot. Nolly on Williamson. Wara coming over to help. Shot clock at 5. They're going to swing it for the long one, but it won't go for Cohn. And the Cardinals with an opportunity to get a lead going into halftime.
Great discipline from the Cardinals right there, and a sublime challenge from Fresh Kimball to get in the face of Cohn, who shoots 51% from distance.
The man up for the screen, and it's going to be an offensive foul, so no basket. Foul on McMahon, number 2, and that gives the opportunity back to the Hokies with 4.8 to go.
That's an eternity to get a good look here. You're going to run probably a couple of these shooters off some screens as we take a look. Yeah, he initiated that contact, got in the path of the defender, kind of leaned into him with that left arm. It's a right call. Good sell from Beatty.
So 2 on McMahon. 6 ties, 5 lead changes so far in the half.
Cohn as a shooter might just keep this thing and do it himself.
51% from 3. Off the fake, got the shot up there, but he can't hit it. And we're going to halftime tied at 27. Wara with 11, also 7 rebounds. That's more like the guy that they were talking about as ACC Player of the Year for a good couple of months. Let's go to Katie George with Chris Mack.
Thanks, Dave. Chris, defensive effort has been a topic of conversation for you all week. What did you think of your team's first half performance there?
Did a great job. I mean, we got a ton of stops. You know, the first 5 minutes, the ball never went out of bounds.
Hard-working Mike Young, but his team turned it over 8 times. That's out of character for them.
Yeah, that's also credit to the Cardinals defense. I mean, they were very disciplined, bought into the game plan and the blueprint of how to guard Virginia Tech. Gave them nothing easy. Some of those turnovers were forced by elite effort.
Wara leading all scorers, had a very good half. 11.7 rebounds. Aline had 9 for the Hokies. Way downtown, that clangs away, so the first shot of the second half off target. Wara will collect that beyond midcourt. And for a big chunk of the season, he was probably the man to beat for the ACC Player of the Year. Things went a little bit sour. Upset losses to Georgia Tech and Clemson. He did not play well, but he's playing very well tonight. That rolls away by Enoch. He got the shot he wanted.
I mean, carved out all that space right in front of the rim because of his size. Just couldn't convert it, but Louisville can't go away from that. That's still the best option aside from Jordan Warren making a play.
And there's Nolly, was really shut down in the first 20. Radford, that'll rattle in. And you were talking about him in their workout today that, you know, if he develops that shot, you know, that mid-range jump shot, he's going to be a superstar. Because
he doesn't shoot the 3 OB, so they play 10 feet off of him. And yet he still gets to his spot because of the power, the strength, and explosiveness. If he makes you guard him at the 3-point line, it's just a blow-by with the one step. I mean, look at the growth in his freshman campaign. His first 20 games, I don't think he knew who he was, came into his own, became a confident downhill driver, and the numbers exploded.
P.J. Horn with the foul. And Katie with more on Tyrese Radford.
Well, Lisa Beanie says Radford has a great understanding of his strengths, you guys, and he plays to them. He doesn't try to do too much. He stays in his lane. Mike Young said, go look at the stats this season. Radford has shot 11 threes on the year. To your point, Jordan, he knows what he does well, and he's comfortable with his identity as a player. That's something you can appreciate in him.
Yeah, absolutely, Katie, and that goes to these guys being coachable. I mean, what Coach Young has done with the team and what he did out of the gates for us to start thinking, well, they're going to be a tournament team this year, speaks to the respect that he commands from these guys. He's so likable. You can see that in his exchange at halftime with Katie. 6 freshmen, and yet they're one of the best in the nation at taking care of the basketball.
Solid catches, fires, no, short. Kimball batted away by Nolly, and he comes away with a theft. Going one-on-one, lost the handle on that. Was actually tipped out of play by the Cardinals.
Hokies need to look to get Nolly involved a little bit more. Out of the gates, they tried him in the post-up, just couldn't get anything. But need to try to get their star scorer more involved. He's hit a little bit of a wall here in these last few games. But he's had some explosive scoring outputs. Got to challenge Jordan Warren, the defender, and see if he can stay locked in for the second half.
Well, we've seen him drill 30 points, but in 2 of the last 4 games, opponents have locked him up. 7 points against Pitt, 3 at Duke. Corner jumper on the way, and that is nothing but net by Aline. Really playing well.
That's a mistake defensively from McMahon. Beatty on that catch is not a 3-point threat, so you don't attack him. You hug your man, who's the shooter, Aline, who's now hit 4 threes in his contest.
You know, a lot of contact there and a travel.
You're going to watch here. This is help. You don't run to Beatty. McMahon made the wrong decision. Beatty's not a shooter. He just makes the simple pass. He's a pass-first guard to Aline, who's hot. So you abandon Aline, he makes you pay because you try to guard Beatty, the non-shooter.
Nolly with a jumper. Kind of sailed that one, but a foul. With 17:37 to go. That'll go against the Cardinals. They'll get Enoch for the personal. His first.
Goes back to Radford and just the powerful presence he is as a 6'3" guard. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in this conference and draws the whistle there.
Nolly again shut down that time. He's beyond the 3. Shot clock to 6. Nolly slapped away, and it'll go the other way. It's off him.
You got to celebrate Jordan Warren defensively in that sequence. I mean, Nolly was trying to play hero ball there. Warren giving up nothing. Then you get a split. He comes back over to help the big fella Enoch, getting back to the man and deflecting it to create a turnover.
Off his leg. Early minutes of the second half, 32-29 Virginia Tech. McMahon floats it up there for 2. Ryan McMahon Sr. from Sarasota, Florida, discovered by the great Dick Vitale, who pitched him to Rick Pitino several years ago. Chris Mack mentioned that particular note in the senior night ceremonies. Tough rebound off the window. That won't drop. Orgiaco. Here's Wara with the drive and a foul. He'll be at the line. Well, very aggressive on the offensive end. Jordan Wara tonight came in averaging 18.7 rebounds, #2 scorer in the conference, fouled by Beatty.
The formula to success for 33 is just be aggressive. As talented as he is, and let's be clear, he's a scorer. That's who he is. He's not necessarily a creator. He's a scorer, so he's got to demand the basketball and try to make things happen, but it needs to be the team effort. And I like that he's had some catches, put it on the floor to draw either whistles or get a better one. It's because of the mindset. In between the years, he is locked in this evening.
It's 17.9 in what will be his final year. He's going to graduate this summer, even though he's a junior. And moving on in his career.
And there's no back and forth on the decision here. He is being honored on senior night because he's not wearing the jersey again after this season. Professional basketball awaits Jordan Wara.
Tied at 32. Aline with it. He's been a bright spot for the Hokies. Can't hit on that one. Ojiako corrals the rebound. Bumping bodies there with Enoch. Radford, yes, he'll drill it.
That just goes to knowing who you are. Radford had the three-point shot. He's taken 11 this season. He's more comfortable just a few steps in and converts. That's just thinking the game.
He hit a game-winning shot in overtime against North Carolina. He hit a clutch game-tying layup with 11 seconds left against Virginia. He is not afraid. And just a freshman from Baton Rouge. Shot clock down to 6. Wara fires off the side of the backboard. Rebounded by Sutton in heavy traffic, and a foul as well. And that was with the shot clock winding down. The officials are going to get together here. They're going to take a look as to whether he got this off. 15:36 to go in the second half. So back to the final play before the timeout. The officials went to the monitor. Jamie Luckey told us he got the shot off. Sutton did in time before the shot clock expired. As you see, banked it in, and a foul on the play by Aline as well. So chance for a three-point play for Sutton.
Yeah, and that is vintage Dwayne Sutton, an undersized four-man. Makes up for it in muscle and effort. An unrelenting motor chases that thing down and gets it up. What the wherewithal to know the clock was winding down. Play through the contact, get it to go.
I don't know if a head coach, in this case Chris Mack, could say more nice things about one player about to leave his program than Mack did about Dwayne Sutton. He said, if there's a loose ball in the final seconds of a game and it's make or break, I know Dwayne Sutton's going to be the guy to get it.
No question, because that's who Chris Mack was as a player coming up through high school and collegiately. Took no plays off. So he sees that in one of his players. Those are the guys he most clearly relates to.
Louisville by 1. Hokies with the ball. Radford swings it out. And it's a rounded out by Nolly. Here's Kimball. Fresh Kimball, who was a key man for St. Joe's. In fact, a 3-time captain. First time in the history of that program that one man had 3 times been named a captain. Enoch. Here's Johnson. Back for Wara with a look. Got it. And a three-pointer all net. Well, let's see if this is the start of something for the Cardinals. Up by 4. They've had no breathing room so far until this point. If you call 4 points breathing room. Nolly with a bump. And it's going to be an offensive foul on Landers Nolly. Dispersed.
Again, Jordan Wara defensively, but let's celebrate the offense here. How about the two-man game? David Johnson, Jordan Wara, both defenders go towards a potentially driving Johnson. Head-scratching decision makes you pay. But I love defensively what he just did there against Landers Nolly. He's had that matchup. Nolly goes for nearly 17 points per game. He has met resistance and a chest from Jordan Wara on nearly every single drive this evening.
And keeps bouncing back. Johnson gets himself a jumper. Big rebound underneath. Enoch got it on the iron. It's tipped over the top of the backboard with 14:03 to go. And there was a foul. That'll be on P.J. Horn of the Hokies, his third. Louisville on a little 6-0 run. And a reminder to fans to download the ACC 3-point challenge app presented by New York Life to help benefit the local Boys and Girls Club. Score points for your school. And after the tournament, the local Boys and Girls Club receives a donation from New York Life based on their affiliated ACC team's final rankings. Enoch at the line where he makes 75%.
With the way that Louisville's guarding this evening, if they can get on a run making some shots, they can really blow this one open because they are a connected unit defensively. Just haven't found that rhythm offensively this evening, but they're a couple threes away from really going on a run. And a young group like the Hokies on the road in this environment, I don't know if they can come back from that.
This is a 7-0 run. They have a lot of those. Bradford stumbles a bit, but regained his footing. Couture. Shot clock now coming into play down to 5. Wilkins will not shoot it. Horn does. He can't sink it. Big battle for the rebound and a foul with 13:33 to play. Enoch's second.
I mean, just incredible effort from Bradford once again. Just trying to compete with the trees down there to grab that second chance opportunity. I had to double check. He's listed at 6'1". He might be 5'11", 6 feet tall. Over 6'10", Enoch wins the war, gets the whistle.
Couture catches, fires, no. War with another rebound. Set a big 9 on the glass, too, at 9. Louisville by 5. Really looking for that breakaway run. Trying to win their 24th game of the season. Remember, at one point, the Cardinals back in December were ranked #1 in the country. About 30 other teams have been, too. I realize that. Wara tied up and a jump with 6 on the shot clock. Possession arrow will keep it on this end. Our next men's lacrosse game right here on the ACC Network and ESPN app next Saturday at noon Eastern. Number 14, Denver, taking on number 5, Notre Dame in South Bend. They've played 24 times, the Irish winning 14, but the Pioneers have won 7 of the last 9, including 3 NCAA tournament matchups. You and I will be in South Bend next weekend.
Very excited for that. Hope they don't try and collect that scholarship money for my underperforming my senior year.
I hear someone's meeting you at the airport, actually. Shot clock now at 6. Wara can't drain that, but a big rebound by Johnson. UNF high to grab that in the second effort. Crowd kind of sitting on their hands waiting for something exciting to happen. It won't be there. Good denied defense by Couture. And now slapped away from behind by Sutton. They exchange turnovers. Johnson tiptoeing through. He made the shot. I don't know how he made it. Off balance. Arms and legs going every which way. But he knocks it down. Cone. Here comes the crowd. He can't silence them. Coming up on the 12-minute mark. Johnson almost gave it away. McMahon with a 3. Timeout, Virginia Tech. It's Louisville by 10 on a 12-0 run.
Old, savvy veterans.
In Louisville, number 3's, Virginia 9 seed, and at the moment, NC State out of the tournament.
Characters you guys are showing. I thought this was a wrestling promo or something. Look, NC State is in position to get back into this thing. They got to finish out the regular season. They've got opportunity versus, I think, Duke they have left. Duke's going to be pretty hungry for that one. then you got to get a win in the ACC tournament or two. And that'll probably be a very good win that they can get in that tournament. So they're not out of this thing. They're on the precipice. They've got to do some work.
Hokies need a basket. 11:40 to play. Radford. Nolly. Yes, he hits that one. Anders Nolly with the basket. So the go-to guy has been that most of the season for the young Hokies. 44-36. Wara already with a double-double into the lane and hits that. He'll head to the line. Big night brewing for the 6'8" junior from Buffalo, New York.
Welcome to Packer and
Way for this Louisville team, taking shots within rhythm. A mild-mannered guy sometimes doesn't want all the focus on him, being accused of being selfish. It's not the case. You got to go out there and be an alpha. He has been that today. And look, we showed you offensive highlights, and the numbers there are good to boot. You love double-figure rebounds. Speaks to that toughness. But let's not forget what he's done defensively. This is a beautiful all-around game for Jordan Wara. I can't remember too many instances when he's guarded at this high of 11.
18 points, 10 rebounds, and that's with a ton of time remaining. Clearly, he wants his last game on this floor to be special.
Yeah, and he's earned the right for what he's been to this program. And when you're the best player for Louisville, criticism will come. You also be celebrated with the wins, and he's taken it all with great class. He's gone out there, kept his head down, and played basketball.
And nice answer there. Cohn hitting 51% beyond the three-point line. As you said during the commercial break, that's where they're going to have to be at that three-point line. Johnson with the backdoor, lay it in.
The movement offensively in a half-court setting in the second half for Louisville has been night and day. And that's also because shots have been falling. But it's because there's been a healthy dose of high percentage shots mixed in with the outside looks.
Seven to get off a shot for the Hokies. Nolly, they have forced that pass. It's going to roll out and stay on this end with 2 on the shot clock. Let's go to Katie George.
Well, as you both could imagine, Mike Young is very energetic in his huddles. He said, we are too far into this thing to shoot ourselves in the foot. Just because they make a shot doesn't mean we need to get rattled. Take care of the ball, relax, settle in. We're in this thing. So he's been encouraging to his guys right now, and Jalen Cohn just answered with that 3.
He's a very positive coach. He got it off in time, but a miss by Cohn.
But what Katie's report speaks to is it screams youth. They're young guys, so when you get some adversity, you want to change the world with the very next play. You got to be methodical in that approach, and that comes with an older unit. But when you've got a guy on the sidelines and Coach Mike Young, he's going to get this thing right because he's forgotten more basketball than a lot of us know.
Louisville going for the save and able to do that with 5 on the shot clock, 9:46 remaining. We asked him before the game, Mike, what do you have to do to get better? He said, we need to get bigger. Need to get bigger next year and the seasons beyond. The age will come.
I mean, you want to talk about coaching. I can't say this enough. You've got 6 freshmen that log heavy minutes that are big-time contributors, and yet still you boast the best in terms of taking care of the basketball statistic of any in the conference, only turning it over 9.6 times per game.
Warren continues to have a really, really fine night. 2 more for him, and has 20.
Gritty, rugged, tough. Those are adjectives you are yearning to describe Jordan Wara as. You've got to use them all this evening.
Nolly won't shoot it. Horn will. Rebounded by Wara down the lane. Louisville with 18 consecutive 20-win seasons. Right now at 23-6 for a long, long time. One of the premier programs in all of college basketball. Right now ranked 11. Johnson. Oh, nifty move there, but blocked there. Horn got a piece of it and slapped away off of Louisville. And now they're going to reverse that call. Good job there by Bill Covington Jr.
Let's see a good drive here from Johnson. Very tough. Phenomenal help there from Horn. Yeah, that's two hands from Horn pushing that thing out. Gotta love a man who can admit when he's wrong, and the officials admit they're wrong, get it right.
What are you looking at me for?
I said nothing.
8:55 to go here at the Up Center.
Purists. We talk so much about offense. How about the superstar working on the defensive end versus Jalen Cone? Help side, stays with him. Then here, not only a tough defensive assignment, he has made him work, meet a chest, and kick that ball out to somebody else.
Kimball had to get it up there with that shot clock winding down. And back over the Hokies it goes. Louisville coming off an 82-67 loss at number 8 FSU. Lost both games to the Noles. So if they are going to be co-champions in the end, that's the best they can do, but that would be a championship nonetheless. If they can do that, tying up FSU at the end of the season, FSU would still be the #1 seed in the ACC tournament. And the Cardinals would be #2. Stolen away by Kimball. Laura on the attack. Tried to thread the needle on the bounce pass, but it's picked off.
That's where you want Laura to be selfish. Take that thing all the way to the cup. With how he controls his body, turn the whistle.
Beatty, that's a nifty drive, and he lays it in. You know, they don't get tons of offense from Obisa Beatty, but he can contribute. He's a premier passer in the conference.
Yeah, he's one of those throwback point guards. He is looking to get his guys involved first before ever looking at the shot. And if it's a shot, it ain't going to be a jumper from Obisa Beatty.
6 assists a game for Beatty. Shot clock at 8. Here's Perry, and took a hit. Got the shot up there, but fouled on the play. That'll be #2 on Couture. 7:46 to go.
Arios, there's a little bit of juice in a different kind of way. Keep in mind, North Carolina missed 17 free throws, turned it over 18 times in that game, and still had ample opportunity to beat Duke. So it's going to be another intriguing one.
Perry at the line, sinks the first one. Perry Jr. out of Marietta, Georgia. Let's go to Katie George.
Well, guys, Chris Mack came over to told Jordan Ward to take a blow. Jordan laughed and said thank you, then turned to his teammates and said, I'm not going to lie, I wasn't going to ask him for one, but I really need a second. So he knows he's working hard on both ends right now.
He said a superb night from Jump Street and leads everybody with 20 points. He's double-double once again tonight. Horn back to Beatty. Trying to drive it. Enoch came out to defend him. Straight on Horn. Can't sink it. Cardinals all over the rebound. Louisville leads the all-time series against Virginia Tech 34-8. They've really owned it.
It's been Horn who's got a lot of those three-point looks, simply can't convert.
Sutton with a miss. There's still plenty of time here for Virginia Tech. They've played so many close games. Nolly working on Kimball on the spin. Enoch yanks that one down. 53-41.
Forced post entry to Nolly. Would have liked to see him bury Kimball at 6 feet tall even further down with a 7-inch advantage. Then you have an even higher percentage shot.
Collision there as Couture hits the floor with 6:37 to play, and that'll go on Perry of the Cardinals. Nothing but net coming up next at 8 o'clock. It's our weekly basketball studio show, previewing the week ahead and a look back at the best games of last week. That's tonight at 8 right here on the ACC Network. Inside the KFC Yum Center, downtown Louisville. They're all big here at the very end of the ACC schedule for the Louisville Cardinals as they chase an ACC title. Aline. Shot clock at 10. Pass just got to Nolly. Went down on a knee, but has the ball. Back it in on Sutton. Tough play and draws the foul. He went in strong, but a whistle.
It's a tough move from Nolly right there. The defender, not Kimball this time, but the very strong Dwayne Sutton, and one of the better defenders on the interior. Reverse pivot right here. Actually, just spin move, spin to win. Definitely some contact there.
Sutton with his third. Nolly makes 79%.
Number 13, Johnson. Number 30, Ryan McMahon. Replace number 0, Fresh Kimball. Number 2, Darius Barrett.
He's trying to stay out of the loss column. They've dropped 8 of 9. And some absolute heartbreakers. That's since a double overtime win over North Carolina in January that had the Hokies dreaming of March Madness. But overtime has not been so good since then. They fell in overtime to Boston College, in triple overtime to Miami.
Look no further than that last matchup, the rivalry game versus Virginia. Score 11 points in the first half versus that Cavaliers defense. 42 in the second, really figure it out, guarded well and everything. Keegan Clark hits a 3 to beat you.
McMahon hits the 3 there. 10 points for him to open up a 56-43 advantage. Louisville with their biggest lead tonight. And looking for a put-away run.
How about Johnson working on Cone here, not giving him anything, trailing him defensively.
Ollie left it behind, went back to get it, scooped up by Williamson. A lot of turnovers for the Hokies tonight. That's certainly out of character. 13 of them, in fact. Entry pass here for Enoch, right where he wants to work.
I'm aware the Hokies have lost 8 of their last 9. It's how Louisville is winning this game, which is most impressive. Not front running, doing it with their defense and effort to fuel their offense and build this lead.
Cone, yes. He drills the triple. He's had some big games. He had 19 at Syracuse, dropped 20 on Miami. A whistle. Teddy Valentine has a foul with 4:34 to go.
I mean, David Johnson has been working, following Cone everywhere. Got caught ball watching right there. Cone makes him pay. As for offensively in this sequence, look at how Enoch just buries Ojiaku, a 6'10 freshman who's still learning how to guard in this conference at this level. Enoch, a senior. Advantage experience.
Seniors generally played very well on senior night for Louisville tonight. Ojiaku with a foul to put Enoch at the line. The 6'10 senior. 8 points for him this evening. They were tied at halftime at 27 in this one.
And that'll be my biggest question about this Louisville team going into March. One that I've been so high on is what happens when they got to win in the mud? What happens when the three-point shot's not falling? What else are they going to do?
Tapped away, Cone has it in the corner. Picked off and laid off the iron, but they had several cracks at it. Johnson had the best one, but he missed the layup.
But even stuff like that, the effort, they're really locked in, laser focused on the defensive end. And that's been able to fuel this team. They've showed that they don't need to win with pretty jump shots, and that's what's impressed me most.
Official timeout. McMahon's in some pain and hobbled. And let's see if Ryan can continue. He's heading for the bench. Took a shot somewhere. And Perry in for him.
Yeah, look, just as he was trying to fight through the screen there. Weird angle. Something lower. Rubbing his thigh on left thigh on the bench, and not an ankle, but that's as far as I'll speculate.
Cone hits the shot and foul on the play. Boy, is his release something to see. And hit the shot. With exactly 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, this freshman has been a revelation. Continues to wow with his ability with that quick trigger. Man and it's been because of Jordan War. It's an emotional day, senior night, and I know he's only a junior, graduated in 3 years, has professional aspirations. This is the last time he'll dance here at the Yum Center. You've come to know that jump shot, and he's provided a lot of offense, but it's what he's done defensively which has stood out most to me this evening. Has done a number on Landers Nolly, making him uncomfortable and disrupted his flow and other efforts elsewhere. And for that reason, OB,
he is tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Zaxby's.
I felt like a nice little assist there. You just hoofed it on the other end, hung on the rim.
With the dime. Exactly 4 minutes to play here, and Wara with 20 points and 11 rebounds. And really established from the get-go is going to be a really good senior night for him. Louisville plays their last regular season game at Virginia before the ACC tournament. Enoch on the high post, looking inside. He had Perry wide open, did not get it to him. Shot clock to 9. Back for Enoch. 5 to shoot. Pounding it in there. With the left hand, no. Sutton, the dribble down, and that'll roll in. So you see why Dwayne Sutton's had 11 double-digit rebounding games. Averages 8 a game. He's only 6'5".
And that's where you can really flex. Down low bully ball. There is no front line for Virginia Tech.
Now once again, Wara hitting the deck and a collision, and a foul goes against the Hokies. That's happened 2, 3, 4 times tonight.
Yeah, and it's just, again, the effort in being up in your guys. You can be rewarded by simply providing that. I don't know how that's on Jalen Cone. I think that's just a no call play through.
61-49 Louisville. Under 3 minutes to play here at the Yum Center. Enoch again. Drawing a lot of attention. And the tip in. Great play by David Johnson, getting high up there. His last 13 games, he's averaging 10 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. The freshman really contributing.
Yeah, and he does all his damage inside the arc. Loves to be in attack mode. Even a good rebounder from the perimeter, as seen there.
Off the front of the iron by Nolly. It has not been his night. And a lot of that credit goes to the Louisville defense.
Goes to the credit of Jordan Wara, most especially.
Yes.
For how he's worked on. A little bit of Dwayne Sutton as well.
Although that one was wide open.
Yeah. But when you're taken out of that rhythm and nothing comes easy, the 11th hour, you can't necessarily just dial it up. Rhythm's gone.
2 minutes to go. Wara wants another one. Not this time. He hasn't missed many tonight. 63-49. Aline, he's the star of the first half. He slips there. And one of the officials had one call and another had a travel on the slip. And they will huddle. And it will be a travel. It'll go with Bill Covington Jr.'s call, which is the right call to make.
Yeah, good drive here from Aline. Definitely just, yeah, that's unfortunate. Wet spot there caused the travel before the contact.
Well, that's a high number of turnovers for Mike Young's team. No, we asked Mike before the game. 10 years down the road from now, it's his first year at Virginia Tech. What do you want them to say about your coaching style, the way your team plays? He said that we don't turn the ball over. He said, I hate that more than anything. And it's not applying undue pressure to the kids, but I want clean games. There's a slam by Johnson. And now the Cardinals really putting this thing on ice.
With how they guarded, once the high percentage opportunities came, you knew they'd convert and open this thing up, and that's exactly what's transpired.
Radford off the mark. So Louisville is going to improve to 15-4 in the ACC and 24-6 overall. Next Sunday right here on ACC Network, ACC Wrestling Championship. Our coverage of the finals begins at 7 Eastern. NC State, the defending champ. They've won it 16 times. As the fans salute the seniors leaving the court for the final time. as Chris Mack goes to the bench.
Aside from being a Hokies fan, any other college basketball fan, most especially Cardinals fans watching, you gotta love moments like that. Senior night for these guys, something they'll never forget. The ability to go out with a victory on this floor and cheers for the last time. I'm so happy that these young men get to experience that.
Fans have been great to them. And as you mentioned, the players have been very loyal to the program, to the coaching changes. And the last 40 seconds of play here. This was a tight one in the first half. Louisville gradually pulled away, and with a couple of long runs, swished in by Jalen Cone. He's fun to watch shoot the basketball.
There's a couple people still interested in these last 30 seconds here.
65 to 52, another substitution. And so fresh Kimball coming off. The graduate from Philadelphia. They're starting 16 games, and with this win, Louisville will be 12-4 in those starts. Crowd urging the substitutes get a shot in the air. Johnson will kick it back out for the corner jumper, and yes! Nicono hitting that one and lighting up the crowd here at the very end of the game. And look at the bench coming over to celebrate with him.
That's a pretty cool moment.
And he's a graduate formerly of Richmond University. So that's the last shot he's going to take.
A walk-on who said he wanted to go to grad school, just be a part of this program, pay his own way to play for Chris Mack and wear the Louisville jersey. And I don't think there's going to be one person in this building that remembers this evening more than that young man right there.
68-52, the final. That's a fun way to end a senior night, that's for sure.
Pretty cool.
Louisville with their 24th win of the season. For Jordan Cornette, Katie George, and our entire ACC Network crew.